Hello, School Transportation Nation. I am excited to be coming to you live from STN EXPO in Reno, Nevada at the Peppermill Resort, the home of STN's conference. We're so excited to be here. There's so much energy, excitement around the show right now. Everybody's so happy to be here, seeing each other, reconnecting with friends, ready for a great week. We've got lots in store for our attendees. You guys keep an eye on our website too for all those conference updates. This episode is brought to you by TransFinder, the leader in school bus routing. Ride, real innovation delivered with excellence, and School Radio, your source for reliable radio communications. Miss Taylor Ekbatani is going to be joining me in just a little bit, and she's speaking with Brittany Johnson, the transportation director for Navarro ISD in Texas. We're excited to have both of them here with us in Reno. Lots to talk about there. Before we get to that conversation, we have a quick message. Do you remember a time when you could just cherry pick the best solution to run your school transportation operation? The best routing software may be one company. The best parent app could be another company. Those days are over. TransFinder said the old way of doing business doesn't work for today's busy and burdened school transportation departments. They need one partner, one solution. TransFinder has embraced this approach for years now, building award-winning solutions like Route Finder Plus, the driver app Wayfinder, parent app Stop Finder, and inventory management solution Service Finder. They also have field trip management solutions, Trip Finder, and Viewfinder, which provide critical routing information to other stakeholders in the district. Add to this TransFinder's award-winning hardware and industry's best support and service. You have the ingredients that make up one partner, one solution. It's not just a slogan. It's TransFinder's way of doing business. Learn more by emailing getplus@transfinder.com or calling 800-373-3609. That's 800-373-3609. Remember, one partner, one solution.
Hey Nation, it's Taylor Ekbatani here. Before we get into our episode guest, I caught up with Kenny Mulder. He is the Director of Transportation for Special School District of St. Louis in Missouri, and he was this year's recipient of the Peter Grandoffel Memorial Award. So I caught up with him, learned a little bit about his background, his career, and what meaning the award meant to him. So let's play that now.
Started off with Laidlaw Educational Services in 1995. I did that until 1999. We took over the Special School District contract where I currently am today. We had that contract until 2004, and then I became a consultant, still in the same position. I worked for Transpar Group, and then in 2010, I went to work directly for the school district. So I've been the director of transportation since 2006, and so 3 different companies, same position, 3 different times. So I've served on the national board for 10 years, NAPD. I've served on our state board, 2 rounds of president and our Region 3 director. I've been doing that for 24 years, and never attended this conference, but I've been to Transporting Students with Disabilities for multiple years and helped set up the rodeo, the safety competition, and really enjoy doing that. I've been having a great time at this conference, and I'm honored to have the award, and I didn't get to know Peter, but I'm glad I can carry on his legacy and hopefully educate people, because there's not a manual out there that tells us what we need to do and how, what the job entails and the importance of what we do. But you learn it from coming to these conferences and networking and keeping those relationships, and everyone's a phone call or an email away, and there are no secrets in promoting and providing safe transportation. That's what I love about the industry, and it's what keeps me going every day. So my district, so what we transport, we've got 22,000 students with IEPs. We transport about 5,000 of those. So it's a very rewarding, challenging, but rewarding job, knowing that we can get everyone home safely to and from school, ready to learn safely every day. So again, I just appreciate the opportunity to be here and that I received the award.
Thanks, Kenny, and congratulations to you.
This interview is sponsored by SafeFleet.
Hello, Nation. Taylor Ekbatani here. I am on site at STN EXPO Reno with a very exciting guest. We are joined by Brittany Johnson, the Transportation Director for Navarro ISD in Texas. So welcome, Brittany. Great to have you on the podcast.
I'm very excited to be here, Taylor. Thank you very much.
We were talking earlier, and this is your 4th expo?
Correct.
In Reno.
Yes, ma'am.
So what keeps bringing you back?
The content, the ability to network with other states, it is just phenomenal what you are able to learn, what other states are doing to meet their challenges, as well as how they just operate. It's so different state to state.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything specifically that you went to, this week? Because we're recording now at the tail end of the conference, so we can kind of catch up a little bit. Anything that stood out to you or you're like, oh, I'm writing this down?
So the Director Summit. So the questions that get asked of the group when you're sitting there doing the roundtables, again, the feedback that you get from the other directors on what they're doing in regards to efficiencies, driver shortage, all of those things, you start to jot down those notes because you're like, oh, I wonder if that would work for my district.
Mm. And how long have you been director?
Since October.
Oh, wow. So rather new.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it different coming to the expo as a director then? Because you mentioned you got to go to the Director's Summit, which is probably something you didn't have access to before.
So previous to Navarro, I was at Dripping Springs ISD, and that's also in Texas. And so there I was the assistant director for 3 years. And I actually did have an opportunity to attend a director summit as an AD.
Okay.
And so, but again, each time it's so different when you have the keynotes as well as the vendors you have the opportunity to meet with, that one-on-one kind of personalized experience. It's amazing each and every time.
Yeah. So kind of jumping into it, you mentioned, but what has kind of been your career path in transportation, getting to this point?
So this is my 13th year. I started as a paraprofessional, as a clerk, recognized that if I wanted to move up, I needed to obtain my CDL, as well as be able to connect with the drivers, because there's nothing worse than it's like, you don't know what we do, So being able to say, I do know what you do. And so it's just progressed through that, just other opportunities. And then now I'm the director at Navarro.
That's awesome. So where is Navarro if I'm looking at Texas? Are we like Austin, Dallas?
Central Texas. So
okay.
I am about an hour southeast of Austin.
Gotcha. Okay. That kind of helps a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the background of your district? Do you know how many people are you transporting? Number of drivers?
So we're 86 square miles. We're a small district in Texas. I have 31 yellow bus. Out of that, this year, because of our shortage, we had to implement staggered bell times. And so we're going to start the year with 15 routes. So with that, I have 15 drivers.
Okay.
I have just enough. And so we also experience a anomaly in a sense that we actually have about 55% ridership, whereas most districts are probably more like 40. And so with that, we transport roughly about 1,500 students.
Okay. Not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the big things was talking about culture too. So, with a driver shortage, you have the just right enough, but if someone calls out, right? So how, as a new director, are you coming in and kind of fostering culture in your department?
So consistency has been very key, as well as not being afraid, even though it's a new area for me. And since geographically for driving, I'm a sub driver. I'm going to get behind that wheel. Or if I need to be an aide on a special needs route, let's go. What do we need to do? Mm-hmm. And so being able to do that with them knowing that I do not ask them to do anything I will not do, has been a great tool for my retention piece.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've definitely heard that piece said around the conference. It's there's a difference between being a leader and a manager. And I thought that was really interesting.
Yes, ma'am.
So another big piece of the conference is technology, clean energy school buses or clean fuel school buses. Looking specifically at that, at the green aspect, what are you guys looking at or what are you doing?
Right now, I'm collecting information because it's a big piece in the sense that the infrastructure that has to be put in place to actually accommodate an EV vehicle and things. So and yes, there are grants and there's additional federal funding that people can go for. But there's still just a lot of pieces to that puzzle. So right now I'm still in very much let me collect that data, as well as I know some districts around me who are utilizing those. And so it's also kind of wait and see, get a year in and how have you found those things to actually pan out for you kind of a situation.
And I know talking with your neighbors, you have Austin ISD, which has a lot of electric school buses. So I'm sure that has helped as well.
Definitely. Like you said, it's that same piece of being like, so, hey, you've had your bus for, how is that going? And, yes, all of those pieces, especially the maintenance side, because there might be things you don't have to do on an EV motor, but there's still other things, brakes, tires, all of those that still, it's like, okay, so how often are you having to do that because of the weight of the vehicle kind of a situation?
Yeah, so just gathering knowledge. I like that. Speaking of mechanics, are you guys also in a mechanic shortage or what does that look like for you?
So I'm also very unique in the sense that I do not have technicians. I do not have a shop. I outsource all of my work. Other than maybe changing a light bulb or something very simple, checking fluids. But no, I have to outsource everything.
So that would probably be interesting too with electric vehicles, how that would look.
Yes, it's like you said, finding that mom and pop shop that we typically use to be like, who's willing to get trained on an EV?
Yeah.
kind of a situation. Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, that's a great combo so far between Brittany and Taylor. I know you guys want to hear more, but we got to catch a quick message. Hey guys, are you looking for reliable radio communications? School radio has just that. Push-to-talk over cellular radios are gaining importance across various environments for their role in streamlining communication and enabling immediate contact among essential staff. School radio helps take connectivity a step further by offering interoperability solutions that bridge conventional two-way radios with POC systems, creating a unified network that boosts effectiveness and safety. This integrated strategy guarantees smooth communication in both emergency situations and daily activities. To learn more about school radio, how they can improve your communication methods, visit school-radio.com. That's school-radio.com.
And then continuing the technology discussion, what are you guys doing to focus on student safety? I know you have Safe Fleet technology, so you have the illuminated stop arms. So can you kind of touch on that a little bit?
Most definitely. So we were able to acquire the first set of air-powered illuminated stop signs from Safe Fleet, and it took less than an hour, maybe 45 minutes for them to do the swap out on the bus. Very, very quick. And we utilized them on one of our routes that had stops on a major highway. And the driver immediately stated that she noticed a drastic reduction in how many times people were running her reds.
So you guys putting that on all your buses?
Eventually. Eventually. It's going to be a piece that I have to factor into my budget.
Right. So how many buses is it on right now?
One.
Okay.
Because all of my stop arms are air powered. And as I said, right now we have the first set. So it's kind of the prototype for them. So those have to get into production.
Gotcha. So with the illuminated stop arm, like I've kind of heard that it helps increase visibility and it's more of a proactive approach. I mean, from other directors kind of saying like the illegal passing cameras are great, but you're catching people, after the fact. So do you see kind of the illuminated stop arm as more of that visibility proactive piece?
Oh, definitely. Because when you, like you said, when you're a mile down the road and instead of just seeing a little red bulb blinking down the road and it's like, no, it says stop.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, okay, there's a bus stop up ahead. I need to slow down. It makes a huge impact.
And you said your driver has already seen a reduction.
And she thanks me almost every day. She does. She's like, thanks for putting those on my bus. And it's like, okay, it's the route got the stop arms, not you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure all the other drivers are like, excuse me.
Yes. We will get there. We'll get there.
Okay. So how long has it been on your bus?
So since March, I want to say, yeah. So we were able to get those on, and so finished out the school year with those. And then it also was a bus we utilized during summer services. So we've used them, and again, haven't had any issues. Mm-hmm. They are working phenomenally well. And again, the brightness is just as good as day one installation.
So other technology wise, what are your kind of goals for improving school bus services in the coming years?
So
in terms of safety.
So definitely being able to put those illuminated stop arms on the entire fleet is paramount, truly, because whatever we can do to improve that visibility of that bus, even though it is big, bright, and yellow, you just can't seem to put enough lights on it so that people can see it. So it's that, as well as, of course, training of the drivers. And again, also training your students, because that's a piece too, because if they don't have the right teachings into what the expectations are while you're waiting at the bus stop, while you're loading the bus, while you're riding the bus, all of those pieces are important for safety.
Yeah. And then, kind of wrapping up here, as you kind of take on your first year as directorship, what are your overall goals for yourself, for your district?
So I actually do have a 5-year plan, and that would be for us to acquire our own actual center, eventually expand to have technicians. Would be wonderful. I am exploring again the EV option because I think that for a district my size, it's feasible with the mileage that it can go. And then also seeing what other features, because I know, for instance, Safe Fleet has the driver alert system that's on the rear door of your vehicle. So that would also be a very integral piece that if you can add, because again, whatever you can do to tell those drivers behind the bus, hey, slow down. Oh, okay, yep, gonna stop. Let's go ahead and do that, because they can't seem to, the red and yellows are hard to see sometimes. So yeah.
Okay, well, that's exciting. I look forward to catching up with you, as your 5 years kind of progress and see where you stand on that.
I'm excited for it. It'll be a great time. Come to Navarro.
And come next year to STN EXPO.
Yes, definitely.
There you go.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much, Brittany, for joining us on the podcast. It's been a great conversation, and I know we have the trade show going on right now, so I'm sure you've got a lot of vendors to hit up, but thank you so much again.
Thank you, Taylor, for your time.
All right, everyone. I appreciate you being part of the podcast. Thanks for everyone that came out to STN EXPO in Reno. There is a lot happening. Love to hear the thoughts from all our attendees, reactions. It's always great to hear from everybody, including our sponsors. And here's a quick message. This message is brought to you by Ride, real innovation delivered with excellence. The safest family of electric school buses just got bigger. Meet the creator, the all-new Type C bus from Ride, with seating for up to 78 students and a range of over 200 miles on a single charge. The creator joins the Achiever and Dreamer to form the most advanced lineup of electric school buses on the road. Visit ride.co, that's RIDE.co, to discover the future of student transportation. Ride. They're changing the way kids get to school.
Megan Morgan, I'm with North Clackamas School District. I really enjoyed learning about the stop arm cameras, and I'm excited for us getting to the point in Oregon where we will get to use them.
Diallo Laffoon, Waterloo Central School District, Transportation Supervisor. So one of the things I kind of wanted to see is what people are doing across the nation. I'm used to kind of knowing what my neighbors are doing and kind of see some of the different things that people were doing. Big thing that I noticed is fleet management is a little bit different across the nation. There's districts here that are holding on to buses much longer than we ever thought to. And so it's a different aspect. The other thing is looking at some of the different ways they utilize their drivers. So they're able to do a little bit more than we are in New York as far as what they can do with their drivers to help with the driver shortage. But I've really got some good ideas. The other thing was accident response. The first class with Mr. Fisher was amazing. And being able to use that information and bring it back to my staff, I'm excited about that.
April Bianconi, North Clackamas School District Lead Router Dispatcher. Well, I really appreciated the guest speaker, Christine, and I loved her attitude and I loved the boogie. So I'm going to take that back and work with my employees that I lead and work on that together with them.
Yes, so the top teams is very exciting. My staff is very excited that we won it. We are very happy. My goal now and my challenge is to keep that momentum going. I want to come back and get that plaque. That's what I want next. So I want to have the highest points. But I want my staff to be involved too. I want them to be, they are involved, but I want them to kind of reap some benefits also. So we're looking at different ways to kind of engage staff more. Looking for that the data to come back to figure out where we didn't do good and trying to see what we can fix on. So we're looking at that data, and we'll be able to share that with staff in the fall.
Stephanie Bladen, and I'm a dispatcher and admin assistant. And one of the biggest challenges we had was finding a way to fuel our propane buses, and I think we got some really good information about that at this expo.
A special thanks to Taylor and Brittany and all of our guests today for joining this episode. We are excited to have our sponsors with us, TransFinder, Ride, and School Radio. Guys, don't forget, go to stnonline.com for all the latest news, analysis, conference news as well, everything in the school transportation industry. I want to thank you all for attending STN Expo this week and listening to everything happening in this episode of the podcast. Go check out previous podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to pods. Nation, we love you. We'll see you next week. And don't forget, save the date for STN Expo 2025. We're headed to Charlotte, North Carolina. That's going to be March 20th through the 25th, 2025. That's STN Expo East. And we have STN Expo West 2025, and that's going to be July 11th through the 16th. So mark that calendar, put it on there for next year. We'd love to see you out in Reno and the Embassy Suites in North Carolina. Can't wait, Nation. Take care. We love you.